AFTV, Frank, wow, that was an unbelievable ending to a game that perhaps was not so convincing in parts. What are you smelling, bro?
Smelling victory again. I'm smelling victory again, Dan. Whew.
And breathe.
And breathe. Sign of champions. That's all I can say today, Dan. You know, as a whole, you know, I think we can all agree that the performance over the 90 minutes was not where it needs to be, especially against a Luton Town side that, you know, aren't necessarily expected to stay in the Premier League, are expected to be in that relegation battle. And when we're challenging for the title, we should in no way, shape or form be struggling against a team like Luton. But all that matters at the end of the day is the 3 points. We've done it. I don't know how we did it. Resilience, we'll call it what you want. Sign of champions, but we've got the 3 points and I'm buzzing.
Listen, let's get the negatives out of the way very quickly.
Yep.
You're a goalkeeper, bro. I want you to talk to me about the two goals that we conceded that a lot of people were saying were on that. Well, it was clear they were on David Raya. And what you would do in the next game, because a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's enough's enough. That's enough now. Get Ramsdale back in. What are you saying, bro?
I prefer not to speak. No, I'm joking. I'll speak on the situation. My stance remains the same on the situation. You give Aaron Ramsdale a contract to, you know, sort of, you know, solidify his future at the club. A few weeks later, you bring in a new goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. There's obviously going to be some doubt in Ramsdale's mind because of that. Mikel Arteta comes out and reassures him that it's not a replacement. It's, you know, two number one situation and they're going to get even game time. Everything he has done since that point has said otherwise. And for me, as much as I will praise Mikel Arteta for the way he's transformed the club over the last few years, he has handled this situation extremely terribly. I will go that far, extremely terribly. You are in a situation now where it looks like both of the goalkeepers' confidences are a bit shot. And for me, when that happens, you need to kind of give them both the playing time that they think they deserve in a way, or, you know, when it's not going right, which is not with David Raya at the moment. This is not the first time we've seen this. He's probably made more mistakes since coming into the club than Ramsdale has made across the 2.5 years that he's been here. However, Arteta keeps and continues to award him with game time. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I think Ramsdale has been treated extremely harshly in this situation. Raya came in and began starting games just after the September international break. Since then, we've seen Aaron Ramsdale 3 times. You tell me how that seems fair to you and how that seems like 2 number ones. So for me, for the Villa game, I think Aaron Ramsdale needs to be given his chance. And then further on from that, you look to Tuesday, Aaron Ramsdale is a big reason why we've got Champions League football again in the first place. I need to see him in an Arsenal shirt with a Champions League badge on it. It just makes sense to me.
Do you think, though, there may be those that believe that Aaron Ramsdale might be nervy now and we give him a grant, and then this is what Arteta's now done, made 2 goalkeepers that are looking behind their shoulder all the time in a bad way, because it should be competition in every position. The goalkeeper, for me, it's no different. You should have a guy coming in. I think the way it's been handled has allowed both of these goalkeepers to be nervy.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. For me, I think it's a situation of confidence for Aaron Ramsdale, because you can see it. Even when he plays, his confidence is completely shot. Previously, when you go to away games and stuff like that and the crowd's all getting on his back, he'd thrive on that. But then you look at that Brentford game where he probably could have done a little bit better on one of the goals. And, you know, it doesn't seem that same Aaron Ramsdale that used to love this, getting the stick from the away fans. He seems a bit shot for confidence. And I think that is down solely to Arteta. I don't think it's anything that he's necessarily done wrong. Ramsdale, that is. And Arteta needs to find a way to get himself out of this situation, because you've put us in this hole. You now need to fix it as the manager of this football club. So for me, if Raya's not performing, which he's not at the moment, I think there was in the Lens game, he obviously kept the clean sheet and stuff like that. But I think I could have kept a clean sheet against Lens that day. And that's really saying something if I can keep a clean sheet. So it's up to Arteta now. All I expect is fairness. I don't expect you to go and do the same thing that you've been doing with Raya, with Ramsdale, and play him for 7-8 games in a row when he's struggling. I just want to see fairness. If one's struggling, take them out, put the other in. If that's going to keep happening, just keep rotating. And if we really, really need to and it's not working out, go and sign another goalkeeper. Sell one of them. I mean, Raya's not even a permanent signing at the moment, but just work it out. That's your job. Work out the situation.
Well, listen, it didn't cost us in the end, but it could have. And the reason it didn't cost us is because last minute, the boy steps up again, man. Listen, he's done it against Manchester United. He's now done it against Luton. And this guy's turning out to be worth every single penny.
Give this man his statue right now. Okay, I've said it before, and I think this is the title for the interview here. First ever £105 million bargain. This guy has not put a foot wrong at all since coming to this football club. I've never seen anything like it. You know, in terms of maybe you look at Bellingham at Real Madrid, maybe, but in terms of at Arsenal, I've never seen someone come in and make as instant an impact as he has. I'm quite confident in saying that we could play a one-man midfield, put Declan Rice in there, and nothing would look out of shape. I think he is that good. I would 100% say signing of the season so far. And I think ultimately he will go on to become the signing of the season. And, you know, we've got another one of many world-class talents on our hands.
But listen, they say sometimes the most expensive players become the cheapest. And, you know, for me, it could work out that way. You know, this is what I'm saying. £105 million is an unbelievable amount of money. But when it gets you returns, it gets you points, and hopefully gets you trophies, who cares it's cost us that much? And I think for me, that's what he's turned out to be, the leadership as well, as you mentioned. Some other players I think deserve a mention going forward today, in particular, Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Jesus, and of course Ødegaard. Now, we've seen that against the Champions League games. They've all been scoring. They've been working together now. They deserve a bit of credit, I think, today, Frank.
No, 100%. And I'll immediately go to Kai Havertz because I've been one of the quickest to criticise him when I believe he has deserved criticism. But that's a third goal. Is that in a row now, I believe? Or third goal in a row for Kai Havertz. He's hitting some sort of form, and I didn't think I'd given up on. I'll be honest with you, I'd given up on him before this run of form came in, but. You know, this is all I just want to see some level of consistency from Kai Havertz, not bad consistency, good consistency. And I feel like this is what we should be getting from a £65 million signing. Not that he dictates his transfer fee. It's got nothing to do with him. Probably shouldn't have paid £65 million for him in the first place. That's on Edu, that's on Arteta, that's on Arsenal. That's not his fault. But I'm just happy to see it. Him, you know, it looks like he's got a bit of confidence about his game right now. And I'm happy to see that because, you know, he's the only player that's played every single game for us so far this season. And for 17 of those games, it's been very hard to try and justify how he's managed to get into that situation. But over those last 3 games, he's looked fantastic. You move on to Bukayo Saka. 20 goal involvements already. It's not even January yet. It's not even New Year yet. He got 26 goal involvements across the whole of last season.
Wow.
Already, he's 6 away from that. And there's people, and I've probably been one of them, that have said he's not hit the heights that he has throughout the last few seasons. Can you imagine if he now goes and hits these heights? We're looking at 30, 40 goal involvements. And some people try to tell me that this man isn't of a world-class
He hasn't had a good
level.
year yet, mate. He hasn't had a good season apparently yet.
Well, if this is not Bukayo Saka on a good season, I'm quite scared for the rest of the Premier League when it turns out that he's having a good season. So, you know, world class. I think there's no doubt about it at this point. I don't think you can name me 5 wingers in the world better than Bukayo Saka at this current moment in time. Jesus, obviously he's been talking a lot about his finishing himself. Great header. And his all-around game today was absolutely fantastic. You know, I don't think he put a foot wrong throughout the game. You know, like I said, well-taken header. He's not really well known for his heading ability, but, you know, when you put him in the back of the net, you can't complain too much. I think Martinelli was okay today. Obviously got the goal. I kind of disappeared around the 60th, 70th minute mark, but, you know, he got a goal, so you can't really complain about that. And then Ødegaard for those last 10 minutes. And I was actually calling, I think it was when I said on the live stream about bringing Nelson on. My idea was to bring Trossard into where Ødegaard was and then make the change Ødegaard for Nelson. I'm so glad I'm not the manager of this football club, because if that would have happened, we might not be seeing that last minute equaliser, so I can't complain.
Ah, fair play to you, man. Just lastly, Villa Park next, which is going to be a completely different test. I look at the last-minute goal of last season at Villa Park. I look at the last-minute Reece Nelson goal at Bournemouth. It didn't mean anything in the end. It didn't come to anything that we wanted it to come to. Do you think this team has got what it takes to go one step further? Absolutely.
You know, I want to say I'm always full of confidence. When you look at performance like this, I know we've got the win, but it's not fantastic to see. I'm still confident that we'll go there and go to Villa Park and get the 3 points. You know, I think Arsenal have, you know, earned my respect over the last few years, you know, to go into any game, maybe minus your occasional Man City games and stuff like that, and think we're going to get the 3 points. So I'm going to remain optimistic. We're top of the league for a reason. Sign of champions, I'm telling you. I think we'll go to Villa Park and get the 3 points, absolutely.